Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, and as always, I have a very special guest for you. Reverend Terry Lee from the church BYWAYS and HEDGES is with us tonight for the next 30 minutes. So stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Beyond Focus TV allows you to discuss contemporary topics affecting the Caribbean people on both a national and local level. The show features informed guests who offer insight, debate, and evaluate various issues. Beyond Focus TV builds on the station's mission to provide useful information to the Caribbean people in New York and abroad. Beyond Focus TV, where our viewing audience can get educated, informed, and empowered. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, sitting here with Reverend Terry Lee from the BYWAYS and HEDGES Church. Reverend Terry Lee, no stranger to us here at Beyond Focus. Welcome back.
Go. Yes, indeed. Always a pleasure.
It's always great to be blessed with you here on the program and have you on. A lot has been going on. BYWAYS and HEDGES Church, that originally was located on Utica, went through a major transition. Unfortunately, y'all had a fire.
Yes.
Which is something we'll talk about a little later. But first, I wanted just to refresh everyone, for those who may not be familiar with all of your work. Give us a little history on you, how you got to become the Reverend, and then a couple of the big things you do, like the Unity Walk.
Well, of course, before I become a Reverend, I used to be a little ragamuffin, you know. That's what they call the Jamaican bad boys, I used to burn my little cali weed, dropped out of school at an early age, in the dance hall, drinking my liquor, and, doing the liquor, rude boy stuff, but the Lord had got a hold on my life, back there in Jamaica, and at an early age, and from that time, when I come in this country in '89, and I started to do a lot of mission work, outreach, preaching on the street. Many people have seen me on the subway for many years, still on the train preaching. Then we launched the mobile church, the only one that we've seen in the tri-state area. We have done several immigration workshops, bringing the immigration out into the community. We have also done a lot of, liaison work with the police department, like the Unity Walk, which we can share some more on. We have done, a lot of, feeding, the needy with the food program. Mm-hmm. And I realize, feeding people, in America and all over the world, you find that, people who come for the food is not just the needy only, but you also have a few of the greedy.
I like that. I actually like that. I'm going to borrow that. You got the needy and then you have the greedy. And that's always something that's so real, because you do see some people who don't need it.
Yeah, but you still don't turn anybody back, You
don't.
Yeah, so with all of those things that we do, I'm also a volunteer with the Bed-Stuy Ambulance Corps, Save a Life, which, run by Commander Rocky Robinson, great leader, great mentor, one of my role model, Save a Life, and, serve as a chaplain, for the department. And it said, being out there in the midst, rumbling in the hood, and of course, always out there at this crime scene where somebody gets shot, doing prayer vigil. We assist in funerals, in the community.
A lot of big things.
Yeah, a lot of great things. We also established this White House prayer initiative for the nation, where we go on the lawn of the White House and we pray. We have been doing that for 18 years. We have, the newspaper. We provide free information for the community. We have a team that we also call IRTC, which is Immigrants Responding to Crisis, which we, encourage the immigrants to get out into the community and be a part of a solution rather than being a part of a pollution.
How do you manage to really convince immigrants who may be undocumented, and that's just a reality of where we live in? None of us are just here because we're here. Somebody in our family kind of paved the way. Somebody had to do it and be undocumented and then get status, and either your children are born here. But it's hard. I know a lot of people who have been while they were undocumented, and they're scared to even go do programs or do anything because they don't want to be in the system. They don't want their names to come up.
Yeah, but one writer said the greatest thing to fear is fear itself. And John F. Kennedy had quote, "Don't ask what the country can do for you,
What you could do for your
but
country.
what can you do for your country?" And I believe that he was also saying that to the immigrants. Don't ask what America can do for you, but what can you do for America? And the same thing, don't ask what the community can do for you, but what can you do for the community? And, just the privilege of us being here, it's a great privilege that we have as immigrants in America. And I'm proud to volunteer my time, for this country because just the gratitude and being grateful to be here and got the privilege to obtain a driver's license, that I have the privilege to drive, I have the privilege to obtain a green card, and also the greater privilege to obtain a citizenship, where you come citizen where you can, have access to a lot of benefits and so forth, so you know, nothing wrong with us volunteer back in our local community and help to do something. But many people, who say they're afraid, I don't think so, because if we have to send money back home through Western Union,
Your name's in the system.
your name in the system, and you're not afraid. If we have to pop barrels and containers and ship things home, we're not afraid. So when I hear that immigrants are afraid, that's
Very
not
right.
true.
I haven't. It's a very good comparison.
Yeah, that's not true. We're not afraid, man. What I know too, immigrants. If you hear many stories of immigrants who pay money, many immigrants pay 70,000, 20,000, 10,000, $5,000 just to obtain a green card, and didn't even get a Metro card. At least a Metro card, you could travel on it.
That is so true. What's your take on the Million Man March that just took place?
Well, the Million Man March is a good movement, just to see, a million people come together, which has never been an easy thing, especially in this time. But a million people come together, that's power.
That is power, and it's so funny because I thought of you in the Unity Walk. Even though of course, it's a smaller scale, but it's the same premise, it's the same concept of gathering people together and wanting to move a message forward.
Yeah, and I believe that, because when the Unity Walk started in '97, it started because of what happened to Adlo Weimer in the 7-0 precinct. And during the time, there was a lot of demonstration and protests, and buckle throwing and rocks throwing and stuff forth. And, and from, Louima, Doris Mann, the Sean Bell, and you have a lot of different things, Amadou, a lot of things do happen over the course of the years, since we started the Unity War. But we have seen within the police department where you used to talk about this blue wall, where it kind of come down, where, people like myself can be a volunteer within the police department, serve as a clergy liaison, where they open programs where people like myself and other clergy and local leaders, we can go in, we can have a dialogue with the police, where the police, they have been open the door where a lot of more community and police relationship can take place. And it's happening, and a lot of great things is happening. But if we put ourselves outside and refuse to come in to get involved, then it's going to always remain that way. It's going to look like the police don't like us and we don't like the police. But the police, they're great. I mean, to me personally, don't get me wrong, there are some cops who just be a tough guy,
Right.
and they need to be, really trained how to deal with the public.
And that's where you come in, and sometimes you have to just let people know and let the officials know the sensitivity when you're dealing with certain communities.
Correctly. And, of course, still have some Dago, some ragamuffin, some Don man are still out there. If them tell you run and you can fly, you fly.
Well, hold that thought, Reverend Terry. We'll be right back. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us.
Here we go. Yeah, this is yours truly, Reverend Terry Lee. Don't forget to stop by and visit us, 323 East 53rd Street, and that is between Church and Snyder. Don't forget to stop by and visit us on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. I will see you there, and call us at 718-940-7499 or 917-855-5594, or visit us at bywaysandedges.org.
You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, sitting here with Reverend Terry Lee of the BYWAYS and HEDGES Church. And Reverend Terry, I remember your church being originally, like we said, on Utica Avenue.
Yes.
Beautiful church. You even had a studio inside, a lot. You had hundreds of members. And all that came to a very sad and tragic end on August 5th, 2014.
Yes, it was.
Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, certainly, as you know, many people know us right here on Utica Avenue between Linden and Church. We was like, a center of hope for, the part of the community. We are, the door always open. We was like, not Seventh Day Adventist, but 8 day. Cause we have every day where the door is open. Well, 7 days in a week, but it seems like we have 8 days.
Exactly.
But the door always open to the community, and from having a networking mixer upstairs, food, feeding, clothing, dealing with family during a Hurricane Sunday, up there was like a safe haven where we bring, thousands of dollars worth of food that we collect and merchandise to bring to Canarsie Rockaway. So that was like a center, a disaster response center. It was a center of hope. It was a spiritual home. It was a home where people could just come and the seniors climbing up the stairs. But certainly, yes, on August the 5th, all of those things had come to an halt where it was arson, where, we finished our prayer meeting on the 5th of August at around 9:45, and we close the church, and I leave and I go home, and about 20 minutes, 25 minutes after I leave and get home, I got a phone call that the church is on fire. And I rush back down. So, the fire department, they asked me if I have any beef with anybody. So, I was wondering, because I did the unity walk where we closed the street July 26th. So, July 26th and August the 5th. So I was wondering if it's because we're doing the unity with the police and community, that was like a retaliation, after
True.
the Eric Garner thing, But then, when I wake up in the morning and I see, a different, strategy, I kind of rule like, but I'm wondering if my landlord have something, to do with it.
And at that point, your landlord had given you a 2-month notice. Out of nowhere, they decided the building's up for sale. They didn't renew your lease.
Correctly.
And now you have a 2-month notice. And you weren't even at the end of your 2 months yet.
Correctly. Well, yeah, we saw the sign that the building is up for sale around in April? No, March. Right, in March, right? March. So when we see the sign that the building up for sale, I got a little meeting with the members, and I said to them, hey, the building is up for sale. Maybe we should come together and, talk to the landlord and put a plea out, and maybe, he would give us an option, to purchase. But before that, certainly he didn't renew our lease, and he didn't give us any explanation why he's not renewing the lease. But, as the Rev, I still pay my rent as usual, never hold a dime, always paid it on time, don't matter even if we have to sell candy or bake sale, but we do everything to pay the rent on time. So when we see the sign that the building is up for sale, we try to reach out to the landlord to come and talk to us. So we pay the rent in March,